This is Eye on the Community, and I am Sean Anthony. And did you know in Franklin County, black babies are nearly 3 times more likely to die than white babies from infant mortality? To reduce and ultimately prevent infant mortality, it takes a collective and committed movement from each and every one of us. And when it comes to reducing infant mortality, fathers play such an important role in a child's life. And today I am joined by Ashon McKenzie, who is the Director of Strategic Initiatives for Celebrate One, to discuss the role men play in making sure Black and Brown babies celebrate year one and beyond, and to also tell you about the upcoming Celebrate One and Columbus Urban League Fatherhood Summit on Saturday, June 25th. First of all, Mr. McKenzie, welcome to Eye on the Community. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
My pleasure. And as I mentioned before, Saturday, June 25th, from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., Celebrate One and the Columbus Urban League will host the Fatherhood Summit, Raising Up Fatherhood Champions. Mr. McKenzie, can you tell us more about the event and why was it so important that Celebrate One and the Columbus Urban League teamed up for this?
Sure. Well, thanks for the chance to share a little bit about this event. I'm really excited about it. As you mentioned in the introduction, we have an infant mortality issue here in Columbus, but the information, data, research, everything shows that when fathers are involved, the outcomes improve dramatically for infants and for mothers. And so this is an opportunity for us to make sure that we're caring for dads along the way as well. And we want to provide fathers with critical information on things like safe sleep, co-parenting, financial literacy. We want to make sure that everything that dad needs is set up for them. And so there'll be opportunities at this event for not only learning, but connection with real resources that can help fathers along the way and make sure that they have a strong start for themselves and their families.
You know, as men, when it comes to caring for an infant, sometimes some men think, oh, this is the woman's job, or some men may not know what to do because being a new parent, of course, can be extremely overwhelming for both men and women. What role do we as men play in raising healthy, happy babies? And what are some of the things Celebrate One is doing to support this?
Sure. So the role that Black men play in particular, we play in contributing to building and sustaining healthy families. There's a major significance to having the support of a hands-on Black father, and there's ways that we can support pregnant women and new moms, especially in helping them identify issues and challenges that might be occurring, being that second set of eyes that encourages them to go seek out additional support and care. And then for Celebrate One, we have a number of different options for how we can support mothers, fathers, and families. And so we have a team of community health workers that's there to support people, connect them with key resources, whether it's healthcare, insurance, or other sorts of needs like workforce development or housing. And so it's a real call to action, not only for us, but for our whole community to be engaged and involved.
Now, speaking of resources, you all will have several resources on hand at the Fatherhood Summit. Talk to us about some of the resources that will be provided to attendees.
Sure. While there, and I should circle back to mention, because I think I missed it at the beginning, just the exact date and time. So we're talking about June 25th. We're talking 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is at Mitchell Hall at Columbus State Community College. And so we're going to have a number of guests. Our executive director will be there to open things up. We'll have the president of the Columbus Urban League, Stephanie Hightower, present with us, and there'll be a number of other key guests who will be joining us. So it's going to be a really great event. In addition, this is a free event. To circle back into the specific types of resources that will be available, here we're going to have a number of partners and vendors there to support fathers. As I mentioned before, this is everything from helping fathers connect with education, resources, co-parenting classes, financial literacy, and a number of those other resources. There'll also be some direct learning opportunities there on the spot. And there'll be a bunch of breakout sessions, and then there'll be lots of networking opportunities for fathers to connect not only with vendors, but with other men in the room. So we think it's going to be a great opportunity. And then there'll be a great celebrity father lunch panel. And as I mentioned before, the breakout sessions.
Awesome. Some people may not know that CelebrateOne's work and footprint extends far beyond events like the Fatherhood Summit. For our listeners in Columbus who may not be familiar with CelebrateOne, Mr. McKenzie, and all the amazing and life-saving work that you guys do in the community, give us a brief overview of CelebrateOne and its mission.
Sure. Thanks for the opportunity to do that. So CelebrateOne, we're kind of a backbone, and so our mission is to make sure that every baby in Franklin County has the opportunity to celebrate his or her first birthday. And so we do a whole host of things to support that. Directly, we have a team of community health workers who goes out into the community. They connect people with all sorts of resources, and whether that's social things like workforce development, housing, nutrition, or if that's something specific with healthcare. We take care of all the different things. We provide trainings and resources on things like safe sleep education. We help families who don't have a crib for their baby get a free crib. We help families who don't have a car seat get a free car seat. We help with everything from support with diapers, connecting people to WIC and other resources around. And then we work with a whole host of organizations throughout the city who work on supporting families with infant and maternal health care. And so we're just sort of the glue, and if folks need something, they can reach to our team and get plugged in.
Excellent. You know, the issue of empowering and supporting Black fathers, it connects to a larger issue of racial equity. How do we begin to address some of the systemic barriers, economic, social, and emotional, that prevent many Black men from being the great fathers we know every man has the potential to be?
Yeah, so this is a really great question, and the reality is there's some real lack of connection to some of the key resources for fathers today, and so we know that there's a lot of historical issues and challenges that relate to all this, and so ways that we can help bridge the divide now is in part making sure that folks are connected to the resources that they need, and that we're working to make sure that those resources aren't just there, but also in the places where people need them. And so making sure that it's easy to access those resources, and that it actually meets the different needs. We know that when we're talking about infant mortality and health, the need is not just for your connection to healthcare, but also your connection to economic resources and the things that allow you to be economically free. And then we also want to note that, supporting fathers is a community responsibility. And so organizations like CelebrateOne, organizations like the Columbus Urban League, making sure that there is accessible free resources and support. And when we talk about supporting fathers, we're talking about supporting fathers directly, but also we're talking about uncles, grandparents, all the men who might be in a child's life, and making sure that they're engaged and that they have the right tools to do what they need to do.
For everyone that's checking this broadcast out, how can people here in Columbus join in the CelebrateOne mission of reducing infant mortality?
Oh, great question. Thank you. So there are some really direct ways we encourage everyone to engage in learning about safe sleep. We know that that sleep-related injuries and deaths for infants are preventable, but it's also one of the largest ways that we see infants pass away in our community. So making sure that you're up to speed, folks can find all that information on our website, but making sure you're up to speed and that you share it with those around you is one major way, and that's something that any and everybody could do. We also encourage people to engage with us and our different community partners in support with them. I mentioned being able to find some of the resources on our website. That's at columbus.gov/celebrate1. You can also go on there and join our mailing list and find some additional resources. And then, as we think about opportunities like this Fatherhood Summit, these are huge ways the community can engage, can get a lot of the learning. Someone may never interact with me or one of our community health workers, but they interact with someone else in our community. And so having some information that you have that you can share when you talk with somebody is a big deal. And that's one major way that anyone in our community can contribute.
Mr. Ashon McKenzie, thank you so much for taking out the time to share this valuable information with our listeners. I'd also like to give a special thanks to Celebrate One for its continued mission to reduce infant mortality and ensure Black and brown babies are alive, healthy, and thriving from day one to year one and beyond. But the work does not stop here. As you heard Mr. McKenzie mentioned, to learn more and to join Celebrate One in its life-saving work, visit columbus.gov/celebrate one or call the Celebrate One hotline, 614-570-3592. And remember to register today for the Celebrate One Columbus Urban League Fatherhood Summit at tinyurl.com/urban father. Also, follow Celebrate One on social media and subscribe to the Celebrate One email list for updates on events, resources, and more. Once again, I'm Sean Anthony, and remember to keep your baby safe by sharing the room and never the bed. Take care.